Hello. We are live with nobody watching. Welcome. Pardon me. All right. Welcome to the stream. For those that catch the replay or jump on later, my name's Chris, Certified SolidWorks Expert, and tonight I'm tackling practice models from TooTallToby's practice models website. TooTallToby.com is the place to go for a free account. I have a premium account which gives me access to a few added tools, which I'll show you through tonight, and a bunch of practice models, premium practice models. Now we're gearing for, I say we, those in the speed modeling community or the part of the TooTallToby community are looking forward to the final of the 2025 World Champs coming up this weekend. And we may be lucky to be joined by one of the contestants in that final, I'd say, soon. I think he'll jump on. He's blocked out some time at work to do some practice. Once the aim tonight, for anyone watching the replay, for I'd say anyone else, is just get better at CAD. Now, I teach here on SolidWorks, but some of the skills that I show can be used in many different CAD packages. Now, I have played around with my audio settings a little bit. So if anyone does want to notice the audio is too loud or soft, just let me know. Thanks. Or in the comments if you're watching this afterwards. So if you are there, let me know in the chat, because I'm happy to take requests or answer any questions you might have about SolidWorks or design in general or speed modeling. But otherwise, I'll get into it. We're going to be doing tonight some of the harder models, which is Tier 5 and above. Let's get started. Just checking if that chat works, like it does. All right. So first model, Tier 5, round flange. So how we'll do this, we'll just go straight into them generally. And we'll slow down for some tutorials if we have a lot of trouble. I'm just going to set up my screen so I can get everything in a nice space. And we might slow for a speed run after that. All right. This one looks okay. I think let's just get straight into it. So I'll flick over to, and we can go. So this is millimeters and ABS. And when I'm looking at this, I can see immediately those curves on the side profile, and that's where I'm probably going to get start from. So I'm going to go on the front plane. And then I need to pick out an origin. And I'm going to pick the bottom of the curve. Now, earlier today, I was responding to a LinkedIn post about shortcuts. And there were some Monash Uni students that jumped on. So I'd be interested to see if they join us at some stage tonight. All right, a mistake there, but I'll come back and fix that. Don't want this. And it is concentric arc tangent. In this section, we may just draw a line that we can use This is a tricky one. Let's get some dimensions going. Like 5. $50, 15. Couple of viewers, no one in the chat, so I'm not sure if anyone's there. Push on regardless. Okay, wall thickness is 15. I'm going to offset this, just that piece. Radius of 30 in that corner. Can't do it because the height is a bit wrong. I'll need to fix that. I have a feeling this is going to be a slow one to start. I'm just getting that side profile done. And then I want to extrude this out just one direction with this 60. Just going to come out this side. Hello, Mystic. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if the volume's okay. These are tier 5 models, so it does take a little bit of time. And this is the first one for the night, so a little bit of warm-up is, I think, okay. I'm going to use this line here, do that central section. So I'm going to select it, do a sweep, circular profile, selection manager, just select that segment, make that 120. Yeah, that does the whole thing for me. And then I can get rid of that edge like that. The sneaky way of doing things. Through the middle, 75. Yeah. There's also a slot down here, radius 30 on the fillet as well. In this, we can see our mass, we're getting there. Actually, about halfway done with this model. Okay, this has a width of 35, and this distance here, 55 divided by 2, and the distance is 60 from the outside edge. 50 from the edge. Cut all. Beautiful. Mystic, thank you very much. Appreciate that. That's the second radius 30 that I should have put in that first time. Then we have a cut here that is coming down. Ooh, I want to hide that. So I want to put these crosses in. 150 by, what's the slot size? 15. And a circle as well. The inner circle is 75. The very inner circle is 55. That was a mistake before. All right, so I've got this one. Now I can do my cut down. Cut down is going 25. I'm going to select a couple of regions. All right, and lastly, we have to do the rib. The rib is coming up and out. I get that concentric and get the distance right, 50. And the rib is, it's got a radius of 12, it's got a distance of 15, so 7.5 this side. And then R12. I think this is our last feature. Then we're going to mirror body. Okay, 1822 could be the answer. Yep, there we go. Um, 8 minutes, tier 5, no big mistakes, a few things we could do a bit more efficiently, but that was pretty neat, I think. Let me save that one. And we'll just put some colors on it. Nice model, I like that. A good challenge worthy final, I think. We'll see if that comes out. Thank you for joining anyone that's watching at the moment. We're going through TOBY'S practice models, the harder ones, tier 5s. If you got any questions here about workflow, what you see me do on screen, shortcuts, hotkeys, or modeling techniques, just let me know. Ask in the chat. Otherwise, feel free to practice along with the models as we do them. We are doing harder ones, so they can be quite difficult. But that's kind of the idea. We'll submit that time. Just have a look and see how we went there. On our speed was 8 minutes. Top time 3. No one's put any tutorials in, so we'll be first in that. Speed runs. Chriso Dom, slightly quicker. 100. Neil. Drew, Ace. Tab in there. Min as well, very quick. All right, that was a good first one to do. I'm also taking requests. So if anyone has a specific model for TOBY'S library request, feel free to let me know. All right, let's jump on to the next one. Another tier 5, but this time a 3D print. Miss Sweet, Miss D, thank you for your question. Do you recommend people to create a digital portfolio of their CAD designs? Yes. I think assuming the aim out of this is a job, any portfolio should be targeted towards that job, towards that employment. If you don't have real projects, like real projects that are being manufactured, let's say you're a graduate or student, showing your CAD designs what you're capable of is worthwhile. Keep in mind, always keep in mind the position you're going for and what they want. The sheet metal, whether it be machining, 3D print, product design, design for manufacture, pays off. Although I can say, as a product designer, industrial designer, I never created a CAD portfolio, but I did have a digital portfolio. I say did because it's offline at the moment, and I don't need to put it online until I'm job seeking, but definitely having a portfolio is worthwhile. And if you want to get serious about the role you're going for, creating your own website or portfolio to show those can be worthwhile too. Great question. Thanks. All right, let's jump into the next model. All right. 3. So what I'll do is I'll show it on screen. Anyone can take a screenshot if they want. Then I'll make it small, and do my own attempt. So here's the big version. If you want to grab a screenshot, give it 10 seconds. It does give me a few extra seconds to have a look at the model before I start. But with the practice models, it's not a live. You can restart it anytime you want. But the filmed versions, when you're going for a speed attempt that you're going to record, obviously you need to start the timer before you start modeling. So that's what we'll be doing. You can, however, start the part file. So open up the template before you kick off. All right, so let me resize this. And I'll just get a new part ready and open. So millimeters and ABS. All right, and let's restart. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, now where are we going to start from? It's part symmetrical, part not. I think we'll do the symmetrical, semi-symmetrical part first. And then try and go from there. Actually, barely any symmetry, so we're just going to try and get into it. Now, it doesn't give me the full or the center to center point, so I'm going to have to put in the outer point for 8. And it has a radius of 40, which means this is 80. The part has a consistent wall thickness, which is 9 millimeters, and it goes up 75 with 11 mil on the edge, a radius. So I'm going to do that first and then put in my shell. Pick that number. Right, now let's do the slot detail. So on either end there is a shape like this, which if we look just looking at the detail for this, trying to see the size, it is R10, so that's 20. It does have a hole going through it. There's 9 by 9 mil deep, 2 places. That means the hole is only 9. So I'm actually going to do the hole afterwards. Do want to, let's just mirror, because I want to use that to get the center points, which is 210. And I'm going to grab this edge, convert, so that I can just extrude those contours. Going to go down to this surface here, and then do my 2 holes. 9. So this element would be quicker if we did symmetry, but we've missed that chance already. Extrude cut down 9. All right, now I've got to do the other separate details. So one is on this face. We're going to draw our circles here. So it's 55 across from the side. The size of that circle is 50, 68. Okay, so it's got a 9mm wall thickness. It's 55 from the end. And it is 37.5 off the side, which is basically in the middle. And then that comes out 32 from the edge. So what I'm going to do, because it goes into the curve, I'm going to offset it 32 and then go change the direction, go up to next like this. And then it's got this kind of edge inside, which is a chamfer 5x45. I'm going to put that 5 in on there. And the hole punches all the way through. I'm going to select that sketch and that inner contour and just make sure that goes through 10mm. Might have to go a bit more. Go. That's one side done. Got to do the same thing at the other end. Now there's no plane here, so I'm going to use the right plane to sketch it. And I believe the circles are the same. I'm going to do same dimensions in line with the origin. 37.5 from the top. This one goes the difference between 275 and 248 is how far it goes off the edge. Quick maths is 27. So then we need to offset it by a lot. So I'm going to offset it. 27 plus 124. Offset this way, just like that. Or on this side, there's a square face that comes in. So that one makes it a little bit more complicated. I just have to put, again, I'm going to do tangents. I'm going to do open loop. Oh, this is not good. I'm just going to do a flat face. It's a line like this, which is going to be 214 from this edge. 214. Okay. Convert this edge, trim that all the way around. And I'm going to, this starts 5mm down. I'm going to select contour for this. When I select contour, then I can uncheck thin feature, offset 5mm, go up to next. Right, that fills that one in. Then I can use this shape here, convert that, cut my hole, and then add my chamfer. Then I think we've done all the detail we need. Let's check 614.4. There we go. That was quite tricky actually, this model. Like some symmetry, you could do it a bit faster. But lots of elements that are not symmetric, so that way you'd have to nail the workflow right off the bat, because otherwise you sort of are coming back to change things, tweak things. Round. conduit box. This would definitely be a championship level model. The finals, so anyone checking that out, I wonder if we'll see something like this come up. What do you guys think of that workflow? Let me know. I'm going to be right back in 1 minute. On to the next one. Hey, we are back. Macros. I probably didn't mention macros, but I would have mentioned hotkeys and mouse gestures. So I'm happy to take you through a bit of those. So they're two different things in SolidWorks. Macros are a thing in SolidWorks too, but I barely use them in my workflow. About hotkeys and gestures. The first one, let me use this example here. So the first thing I can tell you about is gestures. So gestures is mouse gestures. And that is where I can click with the mouse, right click, and drag my mouse. And that's going to show a series of options. Now at the moment I'm in a part file. I'm not in sketch mode. I don't have any sketch selected. These are the options in that context, which is all about different view angles. All right, so right click, drag to this, it's going to automatically go to that view. Right click, top view, right click, side view. So that's a bit quicker than manually pressing your keys or hitting space bar and choosing one of these views here. I should use this one. I just haven't got the hang of this one. We use mouse gestures very regularly is when I'm sketching. So if I'm doing a sketch on the front plane, and let's say I'm on this view and I want to draw a rectangle, now I'm in sketch mode, I have these different mouse gestures set up. So when I right click and drag down, I'm going to get a normal rectangle. Or when I right click and drag to the left, I'm going to get a line segment. When I right click and drag to the right, I'm going to get a circle. Now, these are the most common kind of sketch tools I use. The other one that I use very regularly is dimension, which is right click, drag up. Now, these are the mouse gestures that I have set up in my workflow. They're the things that I use. These are the tools that I use most often. So I've set them up in that way to mine or the way I work. To change your own mouse gestures, you need to right click on the command manager and go to customize or go to tools, customize. That'll bring up your customize toolbar, customize pop-up window. From this, I've got toolbars, shortcut bars, commands, menus, keyboard, and mouse gestures. So mouse gestures is one I'm talking about, and here it shows you the for what you have as options in a part mode, assembly mode, drawing mode, and sketch. Now you can change the number of gestures. I have mine set to 8. And you can move and replace the gestures as you see fit. Is mouse gestures. The other I use a lot of is keys, otherwise known as keyboard shortcuts. Now, it's a similar thing for customizing keyboard shortcuts. We go to the command or the customize toolbar once again. And I can go to keyboard. And this shows me all the different commands in SolidWorks and also shows the shortcuts that are currently active for those. So there's some obvious or typical ones like new document, Control N, open document, Control O, Control W for close, Control S for save. All pretty standard. But if we go down to things like a metal, I've made that shortcut M. Or trim tool, sketch trim, I've made that to the shortcut letter T. I have also, in the last year, changed my extrude tool to the letter E and cut extrude to Shift E. And I've done similar with revolve. Revolve boss base is R, cut revolve, Shift R. You can add whatever keyboard shortcuts you like. You're only limited by the number of your keyboard. Some other ones that I find very useful are isolate body, so isolate view, I key, and offset sketch, offset entities, I've set to O, and convert entity from a sketch, I've set to C. And that all comes down to preference, whether you prefer to use mouse gestures or hotkeys. There you have it. So I'd say world top 2 SolidWorks Spiller extraordinaire, welcome. How's work going? Are you settling in for a big week, a big Friday? I think it's this Friday, right? Anyone doesn't know, I'd say is in the World Championship of Speed Modeling on the community coming up on Friday. No problem, mate. Got to make money. Got to work first. That is fine. So I'd say needs to do some practice. We're going to do some practice, and I thought we'd start Artse's practice with one from last round, which he might have had a little bit of trouble with. I think it was this one, and then the one after this as well. So I'm going to take a screenshot of this one. This one isn't on the Practice Models website yet, but when it is, I'll be able to record a video and put my time up there. I'd say maybe you could tell me what you thought about this model. Really big challenge for you and your competitor. Yeah, quite a neat model. So why don't I take you guys through my approach to this one here. Now, this is different than in the live. When it's live, as Arte could tell you, get straight into it. You've got no time to sit and wait. You just need to make a move. So you don't have as much time about it as we do right now. In hindsight, when we look at this kind of thing, we want to look for the symmetry. We also want to look for any highlights or elements that are not symmetric, because make a mental note of those elements that we need to change them after we've done a mirror, for instance. Okay. Now the sections AA and BB, same geometry, which is confusing then why there's two sections shown and why show kind of the same dimensions on both, although I suppose it's showing 8 degrees on one and 16 on the other, showing 4 millimeters here, 6 millimeters here. You probably could have done that all in one sketch, but so you could actually do one of those. You could do a quarter of one of those. Half for your sweep. You could actually no, you can't mirror. So you can't mirror. Can't mirror along the sweep line. You still have to sweep at least half of it. But that's what I'd be doing here. I'd be sweeping half. And if we look at everything else, the entire model is symmetric except for this little detail here. So that's where my eyes would go immediately. Off the bat, I'm looking at this top view. You can see you got this 26 and 11 on this side, which is the hex. Okay, you can see the 4 mil hex depth here. Whereas on the other side, you get a counter bore. So that's the indicator. You do everything else symmetrical, even the through hole, 11, symmetrical. The very last detail is counter bore and then hex. So that's the way to do the model as in the most efficient way. So let's give that a go now. And let me show you the process for this. Now, there is a decision to be made what part you start with. You do have the round sections, which you can do off the bat as well. And that might make things a bit quicker to do that. So I think we'll actually start with the top 32, 45. Let's just cut one side. The gap is S2 to the middle. And we'll do the next after that. I'm going to draw another line here, and then I'm just going to extrude that straight. This section is 40. So I'm just going to use contour and go straight up. Right, that one's done. Now in front. Sorry, I should use mouse gestures there as we've discussed already. This has an 11 hole that's through. And then on the outside, this has draft as well. We'll have to come back to the draft. It is 26. I think the way to do it is get it in position and do the draft afterwards as a feature on the outside. So we're going 28 millimeters. It is in the middle. Yep. So we could use midpoint, go horizontal. See that circle is not going through. That's perfect. All right. And I'm going to extrude it. And the total length of this, I'm just looking for that dimension. It's 30 from the middle. I'm going to offset it 2. I'm going to offset it from this face, and then I'm going to make it 28, because then I know it's 30 from the middle. And I'm going to merge that, and I've got this little bit on the inside I need to delete face, and then we've got the draft angle on the outside, which is 8. So I'm going to grab this face, put in my 8. Hello, Elijah. Welcome. There's my draft. Okay, so that's the front section done. Now let's do work on the sweep. for the sweep, let's use the front plane to create our path. So if we're looking for the path, we just need a line that's going to take us from one end to the other. So it can be the midline, it can be the outer edge. In this case, I'm going to do the bottom one because I've got everything I need for that. I've got an R40 here. I've got I believe I've got a height that it is off the bottom. It's 30 total and it's central. All right, so I'm going to put that at the origin. If it's 30 total, then it's going to be 5 off the bottom. It's going 70 to the outside edge from the origin as well. So I'm going to put that 70 in. And it's, if I do it all the way up to the 100, yep, so I can go from here to here. I can always trim it off when I do the last hole at the end. Hello, Gummy. Welcome. All right, so there's my path. Now I have to do the profile. I can do the profile on the right plane. And my bottom section is right here. So I'm going to use that bottom and then sketch. And I'm trying to sketch this as quick as I can. You could potentially mirror some of this. I'm skipping it, right? I know these need to be equal. And all I want to do is get as much of this in as quickly as I can. All right, and accurately. So I'm going to use some relations, use my angle dimensions. That's 8. That's 16. The width is 30, so that's going to be 15. Those are equal. That is going to be 16. Total height, 30. All right, so this is fully defined. I'm going to press OK. With that path selected, I'm going to sweep. Here's my profile. All right, now we can, I'm going to merge it. So I'm just going to press OK. I'm going to use face here. I'm just going to clear this out now so I don't forget. Through all cut to remove the material. There's a mistake there. I should actually just do a hole like that. Sketch a hole, not convert the edge. All right, so we've cut through. And then we've got to do our last circle up the top. So we can use the right plane. We can know that this is our center point here. So that's very convenient. We know this is 38. And this also hole through it, which is 24. So we'll do that. This part is 30 in width. It actually goes from vertex to vertex. So we can go from this vertex up to this vertex here. We can merge. I can use the same sketch to do a through all cut. Remove that. And then I believe we're done. We want to make sure we're not quite done. I've done something wrong on this one here on the sweep, because I've forgotten when I did this. Oh no, that's in the middle. That looks okay. That actually looks fine. Now I realize I haven't saved the answer yet, but we'll come back to that. So the last steps here is the counterbore and the hex. So we know we've done everything symmetrical now. The last bit is just to get this non-symmetrical detail done. So 4 on one side and the hex on the other side. That hex size 26. No, sorry. Looking for the wrong dimension. 15. Let's fully define that. Extrude, cut that. 4. Right. So that's the model. 307.6. All right. Now let's go and see on the timer on the video the answer was. Yeah. Got it. Thank you, guys.
Of this part in xxx.x grams. The tolerance on this part is plus or minus 0.2 grams.
Now maybe we can watch how I'd say did it and give him some feedback.
Adapter. It's made from 1060 aluminum, which is 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. It's in millimeters.
Just speed it up a little bit. All right, so I'd say started with the path. That's pretty good. Ads. Sorry about the ads. Can't do anything about them. So I'd say you probably didn't have to do that second line here, but understand pressure of time. It does give you a good boundary to then use. I'm not going to watch the whole, see if I've got the right answer. 307.5. We can come back and judge afterwards. Right, I did like that you used pretty much all the time, I think. You had a good crack, and then Max struggled. 12 minutes 30.
Rampro's Workshop, even though he's not in the tournament right now, he is currently the world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling. Rampro's Workshop did get that correct. The correct answer was
313.6 is the right answer, so we're wrong. Okay, you've got to find out what the correct answer is. 313.6. 313.6. Correct answer. All right, so who can pick up where X15? Not sure if it's that. We've got top hole looking okay. Yeah, I saw that you didn't go with a sweep in the end. So where have I gone wrong here? Well, this is a good, we'll go through right now is the way in the tournament you can check off. So I'd say if you get another clock in this one, which is every chance, this is how you can do it. So you already have your screenshot. And what you want to do is go through your sketches one by one, as in red marker line, where you've got them. And look, I've already found it here, 32. 32. Now, that's updated one thing, but my answer is still wrong. I'm 10 off, so there must be another mistake. Draft angle on the two cones. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon that's a good one there. I've done 8 degrees. Should that be 4? That should probably be 4 degrees on both sides. I've done 8. There we go. 2 errors. Very quick identification. And now we've got the correct answer, 313.6. Yeah, I'd say I did the same thing. But this is the process. So for anyone else out there, if you're ever doing live ones, let's get rid of that. And get rid of it. Don't know if I can. Viewer, please. Yeah, you check them off one by one. So I click here and I could see, okay, my dimensions, and I'm just getting them in. I can click on the extrude, I can see the 40, tick that one off. The extrude here, so I've got my 28, got the 26, 6, 11, right? I've got the gaps, and you just go through one by one until you find or identify where you've gone wrong. I've used this before in a tournament. You might not have time in this. You get to the situation where your competitor's got them both wrong. You've got 5 minutes. You want to make sure. Use this kind of style here. Yeah, I had the same mistake. Victor K taught me this advice. So yeah, very appreciative of him and really fun model. Do you want to do, I'd say, any of your other models from the competition, or do you want to move on to different? I'd say you're the star today, so you can pick what you want to do. Lead you through it. All right, another one done. Or I'm happy to take requests. Let me know, guys. I'd say while you think into this next one, which is going to be sheet metal. Okay. We have here, here's your chance to grab a screenshot. Plain carbon steel. Sheet metal is, I wouldn't say, nearly always they've got some symmetry. That definitely can save you some time. Wall thickness 4, radius 4, default bend radius 4, all red radius is 8. There's 10 of those. Okay, we'll do the screwdriver next. Good one. All right, let's give this one a go. It is plain carbon steel, millimeters. And I'll just restart. Let's go. Now sheet metal. Which way do we bend this? And we only want to do half. All right, front plane. And I'm coming around. I'm going to the outside. 216 divided by 2. So use the keyboard for maths. 83, 46, 35. All right. Now I would do the full length of this flange, which is 119 minus 8. That's 111. And I want to make sure get it all right. So 4, 4. Which direction? I'm going this way. I want to go inwards as well. So I'm doing the view from the 3D view we can see on the outside. Okay. So then I'm going to cut away a section here, which is, I'll have to put the other dimensions in because we've got the reverse. So 72 and 40. In this one, I'm also going to do the hole. The hole is 35, 45 from the side, and 45 from the bottom. Okay. Crap. No, does it go? It does go through all. Okay. Through all. And then there's a flange at the back. Now, I've done something wrong here, I think. I've kind of done it down like this instead of the other way. I've got my orientation slightly wrong. This step is okay, but yeah, this side view's got me a bit tricky there. The long view's all right. Okay, I can keep going here, but I've got it's the shorter flange that I need. What I'm talking about is this one here. Just want to get that right. So it's bend up. Just looking at that back wall, but it actually goes all the way up. It goes up 75. And then it's cut to shape. Right, so this is the tricky bit. So it's got a cut in the middle, which is 70, and comes down. It's 35 from the bottom. Okay, not too tricky. I can do blind link to thickness. That's actually nearly it. There's a slot here. The slot size is R20. And then to the endpoint, 65. Into thickness again. Now that has a radius of 22. And then I've got to put all my other rads in, which is 8. I'm going to use break corner, 8. So can I get those? I can get 1 there, 2. We get 3, 4. Don't want that one. It's not doing it for me. No, it is. There's my 4. There's a 5th one. Trying to find the 5th one down that corner there. All right, that should be it if we've done it right. We do a spin, have a look, looking okay. 1613. No, not correct. 1601. 1610 says Atse. He's correct. Well done. Good job, man. So where did I go wrong? I am too heavy. I'm over. So I've got to work that out. Let me go through view by view. So here we have 65, 40 with R22s. They're correct. Top view is all good. Front view, we have 46, 35, 83, 108. I've got 75 for the top ones. So then that's 75. And that is 35, 140. So I'm at 8. Yeah, good one. Got me good. That's on this one right here. Yeah. So I needed a through hole that is 8. That is 8 off this one and 8 off this one. One 6 1 0. All right. Nice. We won't submit that time. We'll have to do another one. This one a bit quicker. Let me save it. I think our method was pretty good. Just inaccurate, missing that one detail. Screenshot, and then we'll go. Elijah, good pickup. Well done. Well done, mate. Oh, don't want that orange bit in there. All right, so let's do it quicker. Can't submit because we didn't get the answer right. The answer is, well, after is 1610. Let's refresh. And we're going to go again. Window fillet. Yeah, I think that's pretty quick. All right. We will hide this part and start again. 3, 2, 1, go. Front plane. I think, yeah, the method is good. Okay, dimension 108, 83, 46, 35. Sheet metal. Settings should retain from last time. We just got to get the distance in, 111. Going that way. Let's do our cuts. So we've got rectangle here, circle here, which is 35, another one here, which is 8. Then we want to dimension it quickly. So if we go here and make that equal and give it 45. And this one we'll just do the old way. 8, 8, 72, 40. We could even put in the radius here. 8. Cut through all. Nice. Let's do the back tab. Flange up. Make sure it's on the outside. Make sure it's going up 75. We want to cut. We're cutting down, we don't know, 75 across, so 70 across. Need that edge. So it'd be quicker here if we memorize the numbers, but we're not doing that for this one. This one has a radius of, again, 8. Through cut. Normal cut. Link to thickness. Okay, a couple of fillets. We need to do one there. Oh, I'd say what I need to not do. 8. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all of them. Last one is the slot. We're going up, out by 40. Dimension here, 65. through cut. A radius of 22 and then a mirror. We're looking for 1610. You've got it. It's not merged, it doesn't matter. Much better. And that's probably decent leaderboard. Let's see. Min vortex for 45 seconds. Yeah, too quick. And these guys, yep, very good at sheet metal. I'm not as good at sheet metal. But our time, what do we get? 3 minutes something? 3 minutes 12, not bad. All right, next challenge. The next one from the competition. Let's scroll through and find it. We'll skip. I really like this one. So tricky, everyone. All right, grab a screenshot. Anyone wanting to have a go? I think you can expect another multi-body one, I'd say, in your final at least. Particularly if you go to best of 5. I'd love to see one machine part, one sheet metal part, one multi-body. All right, I've got my screenshot. Let's put this back. And let's have a go. I'm just going to play this background so we can see how we do for time. Of course, it might get some ads, but that doesn't really matter. I better make the speed at 1:1. All right. So we're on the clock against Atse live. Hello, Kev. Thanks for joining. I've got the future world champ Atse this today, doing the last of his practice final. All right. So starting this part, you can choose either material, doesn't matter. As long as you're in the right units. Now, I too would start with the, what do you call it? The shaft. But what we can see with the shaft is it is a diamond shape, and this is what everyone missed. It's very, but you got that R1 in 4 places. The circle, that's 12. That's a square. Now I'm trying to find the dimensions of the shape. It says 12 mil, 12 hole, but yeah, I bet, mate. You can kind of see it in the 3D image Toby had up on screen as well. Like everyone looking at this image on the screen, see that just at that, it's not quite, it's not round. Yeah, not quite perfectly square either. And that's what I'm having trouble with right now, because it looks like it's something like this. I'm just seeing if we can try and see the width of it. Section view is going right through the middle, and that's the 12 mil circle. But what about how wide it is? Got R1 fillets. Or actually, I think it might be like this. So not a circle, but is it R1 like this? And that from these from outside to outside of 12. I think it might be like that. Okay, so then we be the full length. Oh, and I've done it on the wrong view. Top view. Let's change that very quickly, put it on the front view. Okay. So I'm going to extrude that one. That's going to go for 180 minus 106 plus 40. I think that's right. R1 fills the tangent to the hole. Yeah. Okay. So that's our starting point of our shaft. And then from the right view, it has a cut. Now we want to get the cut in the right spot. We're going to zoom right out to there. And what is it at the tip? 1. Okay. So I'm using here like the top plane mirror. I can put this 1 millimeter in here. And I can put the 10-degree here. And then I'm going to cut that through both. And that's that top cut. And is there a side cut? There is. There's another one, which is at the very tip. So this is then on the top plane, where we have this coming out to this edge down. I'm going to mirror. Sometimes it's good to mirror to then help with your dimensions. All right, because you've got both lines to actually use the dimensioning. So I've got my 2 tips there. I'm going to cut through both again. All right, so that is then the blade. Now we've got the easy part to do, right? So we go to our right plane, and we're going to do the end shape. I'm going to do it. I should have done this with a rectangle, but that's okay. We'll come back and fix that. Just get it on the origin, and I want to get my distances right. So that's the 40, and then this is the 106. We're going to go R7 here. We're going to put a semicircle here, which has an R11, so it's 22. We can see the distance, 18. We can see the other distance, 20. The total height, 30, so that's 15. There are 2 here as well. Put that in. I can trim this. Yep, that's fine. I'm going to revolve around here. I'm going to uncheck. Sorry, revolve, not cut revolve. I'm going to put. Now I could put this hole in. I should put this hole in here. So just put that in. That is 6. If I trim that, it's nearly fully defined. I've quite lost it. I'm just going to put that back. 106. All right, so that's the outside done. Then we've just got the pattern. Pattern starts from the side, so I'm going to do one on the side. Those shapes. I'm going to put the guiding point in. 36. Have I done something wrong with my measurements? Or is it just that I haven't done the cuts yet? 30. I think we're okay. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting the pattern right. So the pattern's getting like that. 3 of those. I think we're okay, but we'll find out in a second. Circular pattern, 6. Okay. I can fully define it just to be sure. Extrude cut through all both. Just selecting this body. I reckon we're pretty close. So last step, adding the materials, the shaft, steel shaft, plain carbon steel, and the handle, material, aluminium. Answer 202.6. How are we going in it? Timer, okay, we're down to the clock of doom. And we've got 3 minutes on the timer. So 202.6 was our answer. Let's scroll ahead and see what the result was. This one right. I think I just saw it there in the chat. Just coming up. I'd say 202.6. Nicely done. There you go. Car mass 202.6. Well done, buddy. Nice work. Nice work, everyone that followed along with this one. That was a really cool model and challenge. What did you think, guys? What did you think? Just going to put some appearances on this, don't mind me. Soft touch, light grey on the recessed areas. There we go. Thank you, Kev. Really awesome, awesome model. Now, save it. I'd say you did pretty well on that one. I'm sure you'd be quick again to do something similar. Yeah, reading the drawing, really important there. Don't get stuck on that. Take a few extra seconds if you need to. Although that's what I did last year against Rambros. And by the time I'd taken a few extra seconds, he'd done half the model and I'd lost. You can't take two. Awesome. Okay. Let's jump on our next model then. Yeah, I'd say for the win for sure. All right, we're going to do a machine part next. Save that one. We got a couple, but open to any requests. So in the chat, if you've got any model requests, let me know. Let's have a look at this one. This is Tier 5 machine part. Symmetrical everywhere. Yeah, Rambros is too good. Too good. Too good. Too speedy for me. All right, this looks like a pretty straightforward one, I think. Let me restart it and we'll go again. All right, plain carbon steel. Millimeters. We want to use the symmetry to our advantage. Definitely. I also want to do that slot thing. Now, my file doesn't want to start, so I might start that again. Kev, I've been using SolidWorks for 20 years, speed modeling for 2 years. Don't feel bad. It takes time. All right, here we have 38 plus, what's the outer size? 60. And I'm going to do the rest of the detail in this one as well. So I'm going to put a circle up here for the outside, which is 28. I'm going to draw these between it. So they're all tangent. That angle is 35, so top. This is where I need my slot, actually. So my slot is 20 by 14. And when I put that slot there, I can use the center line of the slot to set this angle. That just means I can do a bit less. I do have to get the line in line with that origin. And then I can keep going with the dimensions, get it all lined up. Okay. I'm just going to trim away this circle that I don't need. All right, that looks good. Now I'm going to extrude half of the full width, which is 138. I'm going to select contour for this. 138 divided by 2. Nice. And then the slot section is 12. Offset it 50. Contour, this one. Change direction. Done. On the front plane then, or to be the right plane, we've got this other view, which is the same sized circle, 38 and 60. This one I'm going to extrude, going out, how far? 100. Merge. This is where some neat use of intersect tool can help. I'm not very good at intersect tool, so I would probably hack it as fast as I possibly can. Top plane, we've got a little semi slot on this. So I'm going to do that one, which comes out 14 by 24. Convert that edge. Put that hole in as well. What's the hole size? 10. This one, I'm going to extrude. Select the contour. Offset 38. Change direction. This one is going blind. No, I want to go up to next and merge. And then I'm going to select that face. I can just select that hole, just do an extruded cut up to surface. Okay, that's that one there. There is another one on the top over here. Similar process. So we're doing our hole, it's 24. It's got a 10 mil hole. I'm going to extrude, similar, offset 38. Change the arrow. I can't go up to next because I haven't done the whole thing yet. I can go up to surface. All right. I think that might work. Let's now need to clear that material. This is where it could get a bit messy. I want to clear that. Once I've cleared this, then I can mirror. I think we've got everything, but we will see in a second. Looking good, looking good. 3, 2, 10. There we go. I'd say 3, 3, 20 is off. So what did you miss, mate? Ev, let's have a look at it after this one. We need to teach, we need to help I'd say first though. So I'd say, where have you gone wrong? Can you find your mistake? You see it? Your answer is 3 to 10. I'd say that's what you need. Let's see what he's done. I'd say he's sending me files on Discord, by the way, if anyone was curious. Let's check, let's compare. Let's compare the two. So we have Artsay's file and did we use the same origin? I think so. And then my file. Yeah, got your model. What's this, mate? This bit here. I think that's where you've gone wrong, buddy. FPV Kev, so I'd say save the file probably to his desktop or somewhere and then sent it to me. All right, let's just have a look at the two. When I turn mine trends, I don't want to show, unfortunately, but we can see, there we go. I'd say this is the material you got left over in your part that you need to clear out. So from today's part, all he needed to do was probably one more cut here, extruded cut through all, and then 3 to 11. What was the answer? 3 to minus 3 grams. 3 to 10 was mine, so that would be correct. Nice one. Yeah. So Kev, FPV Kev said he struck the featured model. So Kev, was this one here, which I had seen a few humorous versions of this. in the server. Is this the one, Kev? Got it, I'd say. Yep. The MESA makes model. Okay, cool. Let's give it a go. Tier 4 model. IPS, but quite a bit of symmetry. This would be, I reckon I'd say would do very well at this one. Using symmetry. Let me close this. And I'll get a file going. All right, so new IPS aluminium alloy. "20 minutes is the time to beat." For Kev, show you some new tricks, okay? So what I'm going to do, Kev, is model this in a quarter. All right, because it's symmetrical both ways, we're just going to do one section and then do a double mirror at the end. So mirror, mirror, that'll be our finished feature. Please make a model that you get a sweep out of a solid body, like the bench you were making. I'm making solid body, and then I 3D sketch conversions, but I have seen you doing selection of parts. I'd say, yep, we'll have a look at that after this one. Good suggestion. All right, let's restart and go. So I'd be starting on the top plane, and then I'm going to do this bottom section here. Now the inches really kills me, but I want to do 3.75 divided by 2, and then I want to do 6.25 divided by 2. Okay, and I would always put the fillet in this because I like doing it 5 divided by 8. I like putting the fillets in my sketches. I could also put the hole in, which we may as well do as well. The hole is 5 divided by 8. Okay, so we get that section done. That's going up 1/2 inch. I'm going blind. Then we've got on our front plane a semicircle, but we can just do the whole circle and then cut it. Now the outside of this is 1.5. The inside is 1. I'm going to draw a line up to here and across to here. I don't even have to trim it. I just have to get in the right dimensions. So this is going to be 3.5. Is that right? Looks a bit big. Oh, it's radius. So this should be 3. And this should be 2. Better. Right, and then I'm going to extrude. I'm just going to do this section and go up to surface here. Okay. I could also do and should also do the straight section actually. So I'm just going to bring this across and up. I will trim that and give this a width, which will be 0.25. All right. That's that section. I should merge it. All right, then we have to do the rib in the middle, which is on the front. All we have to do for this is align and get the angle right. That's the trick with the ribs. And the rib width is 3/8. So I'm going to put in 3 divided by 8 times 2. Oh, did that do it properly? No. It's 3 divided by 8 divided by 2. Okay. One side, this side, split material side. Okay, that's the rib, and now we're mirror, mirror. So mirror, mirror is the last step where I select the face, press mirror, select the second face, select my body, press OK. That should be our answer, 2.36. There we go. Kev did front plane, extruded mid plane, but the sketch was tricky to find. Fair? Yeah. 6. I'd say you are correct. Well done. I'd say, did you use the mirror tool? I assume you probably did. Kev, I'd love to answer any questions you have on this one. As far as fully defining this, so a sketch, I think we can agree is pretty easy. We get a rectangle, we put a radius in the corner, and we put a hole in. That's one sketch. The second sketch, it says radiuses. See, it's a circle, it's half a circle. So I've just done the full circle, a line up the middle, the width here. I think the key would trim all this away. All right, even these ones, but then we lose some of that definition. In speed modeling, there's no need to do that. Whereas in a workflow, like if I was doing something at work, I probably would trim it and fully define it. But here we can use the Select Contours tool in the feature here to select the region of the sketch that we want to extrude. And then the rib, the last one, is just a quick line with an angle. You don't need to fully define it up to the edge. If your angle is wrong, the rib won't work. You'll get an error. But so long as the rib angle is correct, it will calculate the rest for you, just with the line. And it's fully defined. All right. Great one. Great model there. Little challenge. Kev, I hope that helped. Now, Artse had a request, which we'll look at. So, wanting to a model that you get a sweep out of a solid body. 3D sketch, convert entities. All right. Let's see if we can find one. It's not going to be here. I think I know the type of example I'd say is referring to. Let's just have a look at the ones that I've completed. So there's this one here. This one here as well. Okay. Is this the type of example that would suit, I'd say? Or not quite? In this example, I recommend using the indent tool for where you use the tube clearance at the top here. Alternatively, you can do a swept cut. You do need to have the path. If you've got the path and it's a circular type cut, that's all you need. You don't need to draw the profile. Yeah, all right. 250601, Bath Caddy. Well, let me show you because I have modeled it before, so it should be in here. Elijah, thanks for the question. Do I teach or cover SolidWorks simulation? The answer is no. Sorry. I'm actually looking at getting some training myself. It's just a matter of whether or not it would be valuable for me to do it at my company, because I work with test and manufacturing engineers which do have simulation experience. Not necessarily in SolidWorks, but in other tools. And so as a designer, it might not be worthwhile. But yep, to be completely honest, no, I do not have enough knowledge in simulation to teach anyone. So I can't help you. All right, I'd say in this, so the example we can see on screen, let me just bring that up. Let me roll through the model and just quickly explain what's happened. So I use this method to create my path. So I did a boss extrude. I added a fillet on these edges, and that gave me a path, which is this edge. You don't even need to create a composite curve or a 3D sketch. You can literally select that edge and then press sweep. Or sorry, even you might have to press sweep first. And then here, select the edge. To do it, you go selection manager, select the edge, tangent, and that's going to select that as your path. And then if it's circular, you can press circular profile and do your sweep along that face. Now, one thing to know in the challenges is when a body is hidden, it is not included in the mass. So if you have a look right now, okay, with this body here, this has a very large mass, 103, 180. As soon as I hide this body, that mass goes to 0. So you can have geometry that's in your file. You don't have to do anything with it. As long as it's hidden, it's not going to count in your answer. Anyway, so I created that, and then I've created this sweep, and a sweep thin. Okay, so a thin feature for a sweep, which means I don't need to shell. I've got the thickness all in one. So that's my part there. I've mirrored that, done both across the sides. That's okay, Kev. You can watch the replay. Now here, I'd say we've done the extrude, so the solid body. So these are separate bodies. And there's just a fillet on the bottom. And then to remove material, I've used the indent tool. Now, one thing with this indent is it leaves a couple of other little bodies. So when I use the indent tool here, I'm selecting my target body is the shelf. My tool body regions are the tubes. I'm using cut, and I've set an offset distance. So that offset distance gives me that gap to the shelf. But when I do this, you can see in the preview, it's going to leave this other little material here. What I've done in this example, I've just hidden those bodies, right? Fine to just basically get rid of them. If I didn't hide them, it would affect my mass and I wouldn't get the right answer. So that is one way to do it. All right, I'll show you how. So I'm using indent, target body, shelf. Full body is anything you want to use to cut. You can select multiple things to cut with. Now, when you press cut, you got to tick that box. That's actually going to cut the material away. And then if you want it to have a gap, that's where I put in the parameter of 1. That's the gap that's going to be from one to the other. Press OK, it cuts it. So then when I isolate this body, you can see it's cut those sections out. but it's also cut these little sections out too. Those are the ones that we need to hide and get rid of. There is an alternative for this process, which I will show you. You can use swept cut. So if you know the dimensions, in this case, it was a 28mm tube with a 1mm gap. I could do a swept cut with a solid profile. Let's do circular profile, sorry. I'm going to select this edge for my path. I'm going to type in 30 for the distance, and that's going to cut material. I select this body. I hide this body, and this is exactly the same result, except I do need to mirror the feature. Ooh, and that can be a bit challenging with having to select geometry pattern. All right, but there's two ways to get the same result. Hope that was helpful. The indent tool is one that I've only come across recently. That's why it's so late on my toolbar. It's only one that I've seen some other users playing around with, and I've started using it in my workflows because I do a lot of multi-body modeling. All right, we've got 10 concurrent viewers. That's awesome. Hello, everyone. Nice to have you. I am taking requests for the last section. The stream. I have one model left to go, which I'm doing now, and then I'll happily take one more request from anyone that wants to see something. The last one I'm going to do that I've got planned is this. It is a tier 5 machine part. I'll bring it up on screen so you can all have a look. Oh, I've seen this before. I'm pretty sure I had this in one of the competitions I've been in. But I've never done it on the practice models, so we're going to do that today. Grab your screenshot and then we'll have a go. Tier 5 plain carbon steel. Okay, Kev, we'll finish with one of those. All right, let me put this to the side. And I'll start my file and then we'll restart the timer. Okay, let's go. Now, symmetrical, but a bunch of faces that are offset, making this challenging. I think I'd start from the top plane. I think that's what I did last time, and I would do that again. We've got what I would probably do a lot different with this part is I would do a lot more, I'd make use of symmetry. I don't think I did that in the competition. I think I actually lost this one in the competition. So that is one thing I would definitely tweak. Now, 65. $155, 45, 70. Going on there. Not tangent. Okay. All right, extrude. I should do the slot in this section as well. So my slot is 65 by 38. All right, and then just use contours. Contour, contour, blind, up 20. And then do a second contour selection, this one, to go up 28. Do our hole wizard. Metric, counterbore. I want to do custom sizing. And 22, 44, 13. Position is on the origin. Something, I had the wrong type selected there. I had countersunk. Needs to be counterbore. 22, 44, 13. Much better. I want to here now do the side view part. I'm going to sketch it here. Now this is where I did get stuck previously, because this line here needs to pass through this edge. And that can be challenging to get that lined up right. I'm going to put a circle there and a circle here. Make sure those tangent. Get this to the right position, so 66. Whoa, what's going on? And the center point of that, that's 66 up. The angle's 35. This one's 35. And that hole is 52. That's tangent. Okay, so that's the shape. And then it's going to go in 15. That way. There's an element that comes out that's going out 10. So I'm going to use contour selection. Select that one. And there is also another bit that goes in the other side that goes 5. So I want to go opposite direction, offset from surface, reverse offset 5. And then here, if I can do it, I just want to cut that section out. And if I can use this contour like that, I had the wrong selection, wrong button press. I want to do that kind of cut through, just like that. Now, is this everything? No, I need to get rid of this face. There we go. Delete face, done. 3981. No, you're wrong. Edward, thanks. I'll come back to you in a minute after I try and sort out what I've done wrong on this model. Definitely a good one here. I thought we'd done everything right. Plain carbon steel. 3981 is the wrong answer. Delete face. Delete face is good, but something is off. Intensity is okay. Yeah, I've stuffed up something here. I'm going to have to check off elements. So got the R70, got the 45 degree, R35, yeah. 65 from the edge, 38, 65 to the outside edge, 155 endpoint. That all looks pretty good. 20 up the middle, 28 for the front counter bore, 44, 22, 13.3 be 13. 3984 would be the answer. There we go. A little tiny typo, but the process works. 7 minutes, not too bad. For a tier 5 part, we'd take it. You'd take it, I reckon. What was the name of the part? Let's save that. Okay, HINGE 3. Edward, thanks for your comment. Do a presentation at user group, network groups about multi-body. You're a leader, a lot more content about SolidWorks. Thank you very much, appreciate that. I do a presentation, possibly. It does depend where and when. I did one recently, which you may have seen at not a user group here in Melbourne, but a innovation day run by one of the main resellers in Victoria, Australia, where I live. I am open to it, so feel free to get in touch. You can contact me via Discord, LinkedIn, email, school, many ways. So feel free to get in touch, Ed, and I'd be happy to chat. Does the invitation in the... I believe the invitation that is in the description for this should work, or on my channel, you can find it. So if you go to the fully defined YouTube homepage, let me show you. If you were to go here and you click on more links, there is a link to the Discord here. Discord of mine is very quiet. There's a lot of stuff going in there, but you can message me. And I post about lives and other happenings. Yeah, it is one way to contact me. Also, email address you can see here too. Appreciate the kind words. Doesn't. Okay. Fair enough. If the link expired or otherwise, that's annoying. Here you go. Okay, so I think we're at the last model of the night. FPV Kev has the honour of choosing the last part, which is a swoopy lofty, which we're going to need to find one of. So let me go to the practice models. I'll show you guys how you can find one. I'm going to go to filters, not completed, which I'm down to 92. Unfortunately, there's a lot of tier 3 models and tier 4 models. No tier 6 models that I haven't done. And tier 5 is getting low too. But let's press swoopy lofty. There's 4. Some tier 3 and tier 4 parts. So we'll do one of those. Hey, off-road, 5246, thanks for your question. Favorite quad lock athlete would be Oscar Piastri. I do enjoy Formula One. He's a pretty good guy. We haven't met him yet, though. He does. I have been close to him when he has appearance at our quad lock box at the F1 Grand Prix. But I didn't to say g'day. A few other people have met him, though. We did just recently have a couple of MotoGP ambassadors, or lock ambassadors, by our office, though, for a meet and greet day, which was pretty cool. Johan Zarco and Pedro Acosta. But I'm much more into Formula One or overlanding off-road. All right, let's jump into one of these. We're going to do this one, Kev. So let's see what we've got. Yeah. All right. This is a sweep. So the whole thing can be done in a sweep and then an extrude for that last triangle. Grab your screenshot if you need, and then we'll get started. This one's all about sketching the path. You don't need to do anything for the profile. The profile is typical 6. You do need to get the path right. Let's start again. And it is a aluminium alloy, millimeters. Right. Front plane. And I'm going to, the dimensions that we've got are not great, but we can make do. The top one is 54 outer, minus 6, so it's going to be 48. I want to do the central path wherever I can. The reason for that will come up a little bit later. So right now I'm just sketching the whole profile. I will add the dimensions in a minute. I'm just going to bring that one back there. I'm going to get it all fully defined. I think once I'm actually, what I'm going to do is do an offset. So I'm going to offset entities. I'm going to offset or make for construction the offset geometry. I'm going to select change. I'm going to select chain, make it bidirectional, and make it 3 millimeters. This is what's going to give me some construction geometry I can use to put these dimensions on, because the dimensions are like the R19 is to the outside. So I'm going to put the R19 in that position. Right. Here I've got an angle. I can do that one to the inside. But here I've got an outside dimension. So I'm going to use that sketch to put in my R21. On this side, we've got the same thing, another R21. Then we have from this outside to this outside, I'm pressing the Shift key. I can put in a 425. I want to get from this to the very top, 235. And so as we add these, we're starting to get more elements fully defined. All right, now what else am I missing? Not sure if I'm missing much at all. This one will come to there, but that doesn't fully define it. So what could I be missing? Just check that this is 27. Yep, that's good. The straight section of 55. Okay, so that fully defines it for us. Now I'm going to press OK. And with it selected, I'm going to do a sweep, circular profile, select this entire chain. I also want to select that. Doesn't want to do it. Selection. I think because I joined it up, it's not going to like it. Yeah. Oh no. Not good. Doesn't want to do it. Because of this little element here, if I just back that off, go okay, then I think it's going to work. See? Now I've just got to convert this one, and I'm going to extrude it up to next. So it's going to merge in. And then on my front plane, I'm just here. I get to do that triangle section. And that had a dimension from here of 110. And it is 2 millimeters thick mid-plane. So our answer 86.6, not correct. Interesting. Something wrong? Yeah. Tolerance is plus or minus 0.1. So anything like a off is going to adjust this, affect this. Just got to check our dimensions now. Spherical end. I haven't got this little bit on here. We can actually do a dome on this. Free. Elliptical dome. That's the bit we're missing. 86.8 is the answer. There we go. Or was that little spherical note was missing? That was the last piece that we needed. Very nice. Let's save that. All right, I think, yeah, Ludwig, thank you. You were right. The radius in the end, yeah, that sphere, that was the bit I was missing. Submit that and see how we did. Top 100, bit slow, 5 minutes, 3 minutes for the quickest guys, and 8 minutes. We'll get top of that speed modeling leaderboard at least. Well, that thickness there is 2 millimeters. Yeah. All right, guys, that was the last one for the stream of 2 hours and 15. I think 7 or 8 models, tier 5, tier 4, some pretty hard ones. So yeah, thank you very much for joining. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the comments. Anyone jumping on and getting involved, having a go. If you haven't seen, you should be trying out Tutorial's website to help you get faster, better at CAD. What I'm working on is Build and Learn series latest model, which is the motorcycle you can see on screen. I'm currently halfway through modeling that. I'll be doing a live stream maybe again on Friday night this week, my time. That's in another 3 days to work on another few parts. Once we've done all the major parts, I'll be putting a Google Drive link out, and I'll have a couple of where we put together the whole assembly. Looking forward to some of those complicated parts there. So ready to check those out. There's one live stream recording that's up where I modeled a couple of those motorcycle parts. school community is a home for all of the Lego Build and Learn series models that I'm building. So if you are interested in checking any of that out, feel free to jump on there and send a request to join. Nothing paid at this stage. So yeah, if it's something you're interested in, can't hurt to check it out. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining. We'll do more of these streams coming up. We might do a few less practice models given the World Champs coming to an end, but we will do some SolidWorks tutorials in many different formats over the coming sort of weeks and months. And best of luck to our one of our contributors here. Hope he's enjoyed the practice. I'd say taking over from me as at least one of the top ranked SolidWorks speed in the world. If it was me last year against Rambros in the final, I'd say luck against Ricardo. I'll be watching the replay. So thank you very much. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Kev, Ludwig, anyone else that did jump on. Yeah, see you.